So hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, karibu sana. My name is Devance Ogweno and this is Devance Empire. Hoping you're doing well from right where you're watching us from, because this is that particular channel that gives you the best of all content that you cannot find anywhere else. So in our video today, we are going to prepare a very special meal that is mostly loved by one particular community in Kenya, and that is the Luo tribe as well as the Suba community. But today this particular food is highly consumed in many parts of the country, and that is one thing that we are proud of, we people from the lake regions. So the food is none other than fish, and the fish we're going to prepare today is Nile perch. So we have different types of fish that are actually from Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is one of the biggest, actually it's the second largest freshwater body lake in the whole world. In Africa, it's the biggest lake. That is where I come from, by the way. So in Lake Victoria, we have different kinds of fish, such as Nile perch, tilapia, mudfish, and many other more. But today we are going to narrow down and prepare Nile perch. Nile perch in Dolwe is called mbuta. One of the favorite foods among the lake people. It is a kind of a fish that is so, fleshy. It has a lot of meat in it and very little bones that are very big in size. So that is what we are going to prepare tonight with a combination of Sukuma Wiki, some people call it Kales, and Ugali, the African cake. So I don't want to bore you with the long introduction. Let's get into this video. Let me show you what we have for our ingredients tonight. So tonight we are going to prepare fish. So basically this is the fish itself. In Nairobi, once this fish arrives, it's not sold full or whole. Actually, it's one kind of a big type of a fish. So as you all see, this is the all flesh. It's actually deep fried in lots of oil, and this is the only bone in it. As you can see, this is how it looks like. Very fresh, very good. Though for it to remain fresh in Nairobi, it has to be preserved. This fish is actually taken from the water in Kisumu or maybe around Lake Victoria, and then it is transported to Nairobi. So it has to be preserved so that it doesn't go bad. So we have this particular fish here. It's so fleshy. And then we are going to prepare our fish with the tomatoes here and onions. So I'm gonna use 2 tomatoes. Actually, they're not so big. There are 2 small tomatoes and 1 round onion here. And then for spices, I will use, this is garlic, and this is paprika, and this other one we call it curry powder, and then this is common salt. So basically these are all the things we are going to use, and a little bit of water for soup. All right. So the first step is to add oil, cooking oil, into your clean dry sufuria that has already been heated. Make sure you don't put a lot of oil because the fish was already deep fried in lots and lots of cooking oil. So you just put a little to help you create a paste using tomatoes, onions, and your spices. So you'll have to wait for your oil to get very hot before you can introduce onions into it. Once our oil is ready, we introduce our already cut or chopped onions. And then you stir. As you can see, my onions are kind of ready. So the next step is to add your tomatoes. So you make sure your onions are well cooked, and then you add your tomatoes. Mix them. Low heat. At this point, I will introduce my spices. So this is curry powder. I had already done my measurements, so I will just pick a little of it. I'm going to overspice the food. And then this is paprika. It has a little bit of chili in it, just a little. And then this is garlic. I will add a little bit of salt, just a little, because when I was buying the fish, the lady told me she had already placed some salt in the fish. So you can decide to put your spices at this point after pouring your tomatoes. Alternatively, you can also decide to add your spices while, you know, frying your onions so they can roast together. I've added salt to help the tomatoes actually make the paste so fast. You will have to cover. After 2 minutes, check it out and see how it's all doing. Make sure it doesn't stick at the bottom of the sufuria. You know, once you place your spices, it's very easy for the paste to stick. When it sticks at the bottom of your sufuria, it's very easy for it to also, you know, start burning. And when it burns at the bottom, you might not like the taste of your soup. So you have to keep watching. I will heat the tomatoes this way to make a quick paste. Make sure every tomato is actually, you know, it's actually into, what do we say? We have to keep heating that way to make sure the paste is consistent, so that there's nothing solid in it. Everything has to be liquid. It's kind of a process, but it's fun. Now once you feel your paste is already formed, introduce a little water for soup, just a little. Now you'll make sure the water that you add here is enough to cover all your fish in it as you boil it. So you'll have to boil for a little bit longer time until you have enough. You see your soup is thick and your fish, when you look at it, it looks soft. So time to introduce our fish into the soup that we've made is now. So I'll have to add that on there. Make sure you don't put too much soup. You might end up regretting. So you will have to boil, let them boil for a while, so that the paste, the soup, actually every spice that you've made or that was in your paste can actually get into the fish. I don't know, biology, I don't know whether it's called osmosis, I don't know, or diffusion, or I don't know, but what I know is that you'll have to give them time to boil. Roughly, this should not take long. So just cover and let it cook. Meanwhile, as our fish is still in the process of getting ready, as you can see, it's actually boiling. Wow. So you'll give it time so that the stew can actually get ready well. we'll cook our ugali on this other side. As usual, I'll measure my water because we are 2. I'm gonna put 2.5 glasses of water. So that is 2.5. This half is an additional. So to help my water boil quickly, I'm gonna add some little flour into it. Just a little to fasten the process. 10 minutes later, I believe our stew is ready because the soup is already thick, and if you see the fish, it looks very, very soft. So it's actually soft if you can see it. Ladies, if you want to marry a Luo man, learn how to prepare this. The thicker the soup, the better it is. The softer the meat, the more luckier you are. So that is ready. Our water is here boiling, water for ugali. So we introduce a new sufuria here because we wanna prepare some Sukuma Wiki. For Sukuma Wiki, we're just going to use cooking oil. That's all. Cooking oil and salt. Nothing much, nothing less. So once our sufuria is hot, we'll have to introduce some oil into it. Just a little to help it get ready, I think. Now this is a mixture of Sukuma Wiki and spinach. In short, I'm trying to multitask. So which one will come first? That was too hot. And then cooking my ugali here. So I will add flour here. Little by little. Remember, the results for our ugali is for it to get harder, it has to be solid. So we'll use water and flour and keep turning until we have a softer texture that is solid in nature. So in our Sukuma Wiki here, we'll add salt, a little salt. Make sure you don't put too much. It's very easy to put too much salt. Our ugali side is ready, it's already boiling. So you also have to keep turning it this way until every flour in your ugali is well mixed. Remember, the secret to cooking a good ugali is mixing the unga very well. You mix it until you cannot see any of this flour in it. It must look like cake, and that is why it was branded the name African cake. It's it's a meal that is loved by very many people. It is a staple food in Kenya. People love it because of its unique taste. It comes from maize. Don't forget our mboga. We had placed salt in it, so we have to turn it this way and make sure that every part of it is ready. Kila mahali imesikia moto, and it doesn't have to stay. This one, 2 minutes is just enough. So because I've added salt, I'm gonna give it 1 more minute, and then I turn it 1 more time and turn off the gas. My ugali is on this other side getting ready. I'll have to keep turning until I get the finest, texture for it.
5 minutes later.
So ladies and gentlemen, up to this far, I believe you've enjoyed this video. I believe you've learned something, and I believe that you have something to try back in your houses. Now my food is ready, and this is basically how it looks like. Fish stew, Sukuma Wiki, and Ugali. So delicious from the way it looks like. The soup is so thick and not disappointing, and voila, that is all for this video. I'm sorry some footage didn't actually manage to come in. Actually, as I was recording, my camera overheated and it went off unknowingly, and all that while I was recording, but it wasn't recording because the camera was off. So forgive me for that. But all in all, that is the procedure of cooking fish, ugali, and Sukuma Wiki. Some people call it Kales. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet subscribed. Turn on that notification bell so that you can always be notified when we post new videos. And until next time, always work hard and be nice to people. This is Devance Empire, end of discussion.